watching these videos while working. I mean, I was trying to come up with a business name while I was working. So I did all that while I was doing my 9 to 5. And I was able to raise a few capital for my first rehab on my first flip.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Cashflow, where we talk about turning properties into profits. I'm your host, Jayson Yoss. I'm here today with Victor Murillo. Victor, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Did I say it right?
Murillo.
See, I'm
really tied into it, but
getting better every day. You know? But it's great to have you here. I've been wanting to sit down and talk with you for a while. I'm so impressed watching the things that you're doing. I see all your stories, turning these properties into these like gems. I mean, your finishings are awesome. And again, you look like you're 12 years old, so I'm like, oh my gosh, how's this guy crushing? No, I don't mean any disrespect. I mean it in a totally positive way. I love to see at a young age how you're crushing it. So tell me a little bit about your background in this. You own a construction company. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a 25-year-old real estate investor, general contractor, developer, realtor. I kind of do it all. I was born in San Diego, California. I started real estate about 3 years ago. Started flipping houses first, and then I pivot to the construction side of the business. Right. And then now I'm developing a 44-unit apartment building in Vista. So
crushing it, dog. So you started out a couple years ago. You got your real estate license. What were you doing when you got your license?
Well, I first started flipping houses, and then I got my real estate license.
Got it.
I thought it was a good idea to get my license instead of paying these agents this commission. I'd rather pocket that myself, and I'm able to use it within my business. So that's why I got my license. But I started flipping houses. That's the first thing I did within real estate.
And when you were flipping houses, like, how'd you get the idea? Like, did this just one day you're like, yeah, I want to flip houses? What's the origin? How'd that start?
Well, I read a quote that said 90% of millionaires become millionaires through real estate. I don't know if that's true or not, but I said the odds are in my favor. So I started YouTubing how do I get into real estate, different avenues and stuff. And flipping houses really intrigued me. I mean, the whole process of it, turning an ugly house into a beautiful house. I mean, I like the vision, the transformation of it, and that's what really intrigued me. So that's where I really started into real estate, is flipping houses.
And I think you were telling me before you watched a YouTuber, Nick Ruiz. What is the Alpha Uncut?
Yeah,
the day in the life of Nick. And what was kind of his mentorship on that got you going?
Well, I just started off YouTube first, watching all the day in the life of Nick Ruiz. He has like 150 videos. I literally watched every single video, learned everything he said. And then I bought his course, which happened to be around like $3,000. Right. At the time, I was making $15 an hour, so that was like a big purchase of me. But I mean, I committed to it. This is what I wanted to do, and I made the move to buy his course, and that's really what got me started into flipping houses, the knowledge and stuff like that.
Investing in your future, investing in your education by actually paying for knowledge. I mean, what a concept. I talk about that all the time. Most of the successful people that I've spoken to and even had on the pod, they're always saying like, yeah, you could go spend $200-$300 on a night out on a Saturday, or you could put that money to invest in your future. And it sounds like that obviously paved the way. After flipping a little bit, talk to me about your transition into a more like more of a investor mindset. Where'd you go to work with Hennish, right?
Yeah, I got my real estate license, and I had to hang my license with the brokerage. So I was looking for a broker that kind of did what I wanted to do, not just represent buyers and sellers, but actually invest in real estate, which is flipping houses, developing. And I came across Hennish through my hard money lender, Raj. I hanged my license with Hennish. He's taught me a lot. Since joining, he's bought me a few properties. We made money together. So I mean, it was a win-win, and we actually partnered up on this Vista 44-unit apartment building. So
I love that, and I can't wait to talk more about that. And just a shout out to Hennish. I mean, talk about one of the not only the nicest guys, but I feel like San Diego real estate investing is like 6 degrees of Hennish. Everybody I know knows him and has great things to say about him and his company over at California Home Co. So I love to hear that there was mentorship coming from him. So let me tailor it down to one last question here so that people can understand. Talk to me about your real estate investment philosophy, kind of like one of those things when you're looking at a deal, what are some of the most important things that you got to have?
Well, in flipping, I always look about if it makes money. If it makes money, it makes sense. How can I really add value to this property? What's really big right now is ADUs. So I'm looking for properties that have like detached garages right now. So I'm able to turn those those garages into an ADU, and that's where the real value of the property comes in. Location. They say all the time. It's very important. I mean, I don't buy properties if it's in front of a school, if it's in front of a busy street, or if it's next to a commercial property. I learned that the hard way.
You learned that the hard way,
I bought a property behind a Ralph's. It was a beautiful house. I mean, I remodeled it inside and out, didn't cut corners. But the feedback that I got is I don't want to live behind a Ralph's. So location is very important when valuing these properties.
You know what? I don't think that there couldn't be any more to add to that. Location. It seems like real estate. And then the fact that you just said, like, hey, you got to add value. Garage conversions, ADUs, adding bedrooms and baths. Like, what a great way to look at a deal and say, can I do this? Can I not do this? So I want you to walk me through a deal. Talk to me about, like, a deal that you've done that has brought you success or failure, and let's break it down from there. Talk to me about a deal.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about the recent project that we're in escrow with. Happens to be one of my biggest projects to date. Nice. So this property came by through Calhoun Hennish. Okay. An agent brought it to him. At the time, Hennish was quite busy. It didn't make sense for him. I'm not sure the reason, but he brought it to me. I went to go look at it. I had a detached garage, so that's what I was looking for. So I already had the vision of turning that garage into an ADU, into a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So we did that. We bought it for $725,000. We put in about $150K with the garage conversion.
Really?
Yeah, I own a construction company as well, so I'm able to bring costs down on the labor and rehab.
I love that.
That's a big advantage.
Wait, where was this deal? So where is this deal located, by the way?
It's in Rolando, La Mesa.
Okay, so in La Mesa, so San Diego, you got a deal that came through Calhoun Co. Basically, even though Hennish is a broker and other agents, like, I can't do this deal. Would you like to do it? You saw it and you saw value.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you got the deal, talk to me about the finance structure, like, money down or...
Yeah, so I buy all my properties through hard money. My hard money is Raj over there in up north. We do pretty much 90% rehab, 90% purchase price, and 100% rehab.
Got it.
So out of pocket, I just have to come out 10% of the purchase price, and then the rehab, but they reimburse me. So you have to have the rehab money up front, but they just reimburse you after.
Does this happen like on your first flip, or is it because that you've been doing this a little while, there's not as much money down, and they trust you on, like, okay, if Victor says this is what's going to be my construction cost, they're going to be able to set you up with draws on that as well?
Yeah, no, I mean, you have to lead up. You have to have the experience. You have to build that relationship with these lenders. They do their due diligence as well. They don't just invest in any property. So no, you have to definitely build that relationship with your lenders. I didn't start off with 10% down. Right. I was starting off at 20% down, and I had to cover the rehab. But as I did more flips, my lender saw that I was able to make money on these flips successfully. Right. He was able to leverage more money towards me.
When you talk about rehab, what does he want, or what does the lender want to see from you? And especially now, licensed GC, you own your own construction company. What do they want to see from you when you're going in to get that loan? They're just you drawing on a piece of paper? Like, what do they need?
I break it down. I break down every materials, every cabinet, every vanity, the flooring. I mean, I break it down into a spreadsheet. Sometimes it depends on the lender. Sometimes they bring their own inspector to check it out, how messed up the property is, and they're able to decide from there. But yeah, just with the spreadsheet, I'm able to break down the numbers, how many weeks it's going to take us, the labor, and stuff like that. Now,
you got into this property. How long did it take from start to finish? And let me know, did you come across anything or hit any snags, or how smooth was it?
Honestly, it was a pretty smooth property. It's rare that happens. We usually have big ticket items that are unexpected. Like this last property that we just bought. It had a pool. Right. We had to remodel the whole pool because there was a leak. We didn't have that contemplated. That was a $20K bill.
Yikes.
But this property was fairly, good shape. I would say the only thing was the plumbing. Okay. According to the seller, it was all brand new, but only half of the property had brand new plumbing. So we just had to update the plumbing. But throughout the whole process, it was a pretty smooth property.
You've learned. You've caught a couple other things in the past. Besides the pool, like, what are some items that you're like, hey, be on the lookout for this? Because if you get caught with this, it's going to eat your bottom line.
Yeah, definitely the roof. Check out the roof, and foundation. I think those are the two big ticket items that you should be on the lookout. Always bring out your contractor when you're looking at these projects. Before you commit fully to these properties, I would suggest bringing out a contractor, and so you can get better scope of the project.
So you're into you get the property, you're into it, no real snags. Talk to me about your philosophy on, you said you converted the garage, or how'd it look? What does it look like with permits, you're using your own construction company? So walk me through that whole, you got it, now you're rehabbing it.
Yeah. So I saw the value, like I said, in converting the garage conversion. We got permits for them. We got what's called a retrofit permits plans.
Retrofit permits. Talk to me about that. What is, I've never heard of that.
Okay, so we usually get retrofit permits, so we're able to cut down timeline mostly. We do the construction. I document pretty much everything throughout the whole process. Take pictures of what's behind the walls, so when the inspector comes, I'm able to document and show him, okay, this is what we did. This is how we did it. We do a lot of things by code. We do a lot of projects with permits, so we basically know what the inspector wants and what the city is requiring. So by the time the construction is done, the inspector just comes out and he signs off. I'm able to show him, document it.
Right.
It comes with a few advantages and the inspector might come back and say, oh, no, you got to change this beam or you got to change this outlet. It definitely comes with risk. But I factor in those risks, and I'd rather just do it get it done, get in escrow, and then get those plans approved.
That makes a lot of sense. So you get a ton of advantages on that speed. You got your workers on the job, getting the work done, and then off to another project.
Right.
But the risk is, like you said, look, if you guys miss something, mess it up, or the inspector wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, he comes out there, he says, Victor, I don't like this, do that, fix that, do that.
Yeah.
Have you had that yet?
That's one of the, honestly, we haven't.
Okay, knock on wood, he hasn't had that yet.
We
Good.
haven't. Usually they're pretty straightforward. I mean, since we do a lot of projects with permits and by code, we already know what the inspectors are looking for. And it's very important to document everything, take pictures of everything, just in case the inspector asks for it.
Absolutely. So we've got tell me about the property, and then close me out on, like, okay, you bought it for $725. What did it end up? What did you bought it at a 3-bedroom 2, or tell me about that final?
So the property was a 4-bedroom 3-bath.
Okay.
We converted it into a 5-bedroom 3-bath. Did the open floor concept, remodeled everything, bathrooms, flooring, kitchen, everything. We don't like to cut corners. I also learned that hard way. I mean, don't cut corners. I mean, always do it right the first time, because if something comes back, it's going to cost you double, triple.
Right.
So always do it right the first time. And then it had a detached garage. So it was just a regular garage, about 400 square feet. So we turned that into a 2-bedroom, 1-bath ADU.
Wow.
And that's where the real value of the property came back.
Got it.
So we bought it for $725. We put in about $150. Holding costs, hard money costs, about $50K. Agent fees, about $40K. And we're in escrow for a little under 1.2.
Got it.
So it's about a $300K margin flip.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And what was what's your total time? I mean, because you had to get permits in that, I'm assuming it's not like a 60-day flip. How
we're about like 6 months in with the property, but
so about 6 months, start to finish.
Yeah.
$300K profit, gross profit out the door, not bad. And it's not like your first
net profit.
It's your net profit.
Jeez.
Hey man, I love it. I love to hear that kind of story. And you told me before, like, when you first started watching those videos, you were doing what? What were you doing for work?
I was a personal assistant for a doctor in Mission Valley, making $15 an hour.
Personal assistant for a doctor making $15 an hour, watch some YouTube videos and basically say, like, I can do this, I want to do this, and boom, you do it. And 3-4 years later, you just did a flip with a net profit about $300,000. Is that right?
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, I was already working that job. I already knew I wanted to be into real estate. I mean, I was watching these videos while working. I mean, I was trying to come up with a business name while I was working. So I did all that while I was doing my 9 to 5. And I was able to raise a few money for my first rehab on my first flip.
So talk about it real quick, because I know a lot of people are like, they're on the sidelines, they have the passion. How do they do that first one? For example, financing. Where did the money come to help buy that first one and then to rehab that first one?
Most people think finding the money is the hard part, but honestly, finding the property, finding the good deal is the hard part. Once you find a good deal, the money just comes. Okay. You're able to come to someone like me, for example. I have this property, and the financing will just come. I mean, people are gonna throw money at you if it's a good deal.
Is it usually like, I know for my first investment property, I had to go to BFP. I had to go to Bank of Parents or F&F, Friends and Family. Is that how you started your first one? And what of your own money did you have to put in?
Well, my first one, I used all private money. money.
Okay.
I was able to raise about $295K from family and friends.
Right.
And then I used my personal capital for the rehab.
Got it.
So that's what that happened on my first property. And then on my next one, I wanted to find some type of system that I'm able to scale.
Right.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to scale by just using my family and friends' money.
Right.
And that's when I came across hard money lenders.
Right.
And I met Raj, and he was able to led me on all my future properties, and I still use them to this day.
I love it. Talk to me a little bit about, what you're focused on now and the Leon construction.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about how you're working on that.
Yeah, so I recently started this Leon housing construction about a year ago. We just got licensed, insured, and bonded.
Okay.
I wanted to create some type of business that makes me money every day.
Right.
It's not like flipping houses and investing where I would get paid like every 5 months. So I wanted an avenue that could make me money every day. So that's why I came up with this construction system. We started doing construction for clients, investors.
Right.
And I pretty much got the idea through Henish. I mean, Henish does the exact same thing. He flips houses, and he also has his construction company. So my main focus right now is through my construction company. I'm trying to create systems, processes, marketing, social media. I'm trying to build that because it's a very lucrative business, and it's a good business.
Talk to me about starting a business is never easy, but what's the one of the hardest things you've come across so far?
Finding quality leads, finding people that actually want to pay that premium and not just go for that cheaper contractor. Most people just want to get the cheapest price as possible, and sometimes you guys just have to get into your head. Like we hear horror stories all the time about these contractors that just steal these people money. They don't get a good quality job. So it's trying to convince these people that pay the premium, pay for a good, reliable contractor.
I'm with you, man. People will take the cheap route all the time, and they always, 90% of the time afterwards, they say like, "Oh, I fucked up. I shouldn't have done that."
Yeah.
Value. It's hard to stick to your guns, but value is important.
Right. Yeah. Spend those extra few $1,000s just to get that good contractor. I mean, it's worth it.
And so you're saving money on your own flips, as well as now you're able to help the investor mindset, that other fix and flip investor who may not have a construction company in their back pocket. You're like, "Look, I've done this. I know this. Let me help you."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I work with a lot of investors. I mean, it's so smooth for them because I have the knowledge as an investor. A lot of contractors don't have that type of knowledge. I'm able to add value through that aspect of the business. So yeah, I do a lot of flips for other investors, and it goes smooth. I mean, they're happy with the quality. They're happy with the timelines. I mean,
let me close with one question. And again, I brought it up in the beginning, but for that young entrepreneur, that hungry 20, 21, 22-year-old. I mean, I got licensed when I think I was 19.
Yeah.
How difficult is it when you walk into a house or when you walk into an office and you're talking to a third-party client and they're saying, "Why should I trust you on a 7-figure deal? You look like you're 12 years old." What are you saying to them? How do you approach that? And what advice would you have for someone else in your position?
Yeah. I mean, I get that a lot. I get that more than often. I mean, they say I look like I'm 12 years old. They say, "How long have I been in the business?" But I just say the result speaks for itself. Look at my reviews. Look at the referrals. Whoever sent you. Look at my website. I mean, I like to document everything for that precise reason. Because I look a bit younger, but I'm able to show and demonstrate. Like, look what we did for this other investor. Look what we did for this client. Sometimes I like to bring my contractor that's older than me. He has the experience of the construction, and he's able to add value on that as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Victor, you're a good-looking cat. Just say, "Look at this, dog. Look at this."
You don't want this.
Yeah. No, you know what? I appreciate that feedback, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to take a lot away, especially people who are thinking about doing this and just, what is my first step, especially younger people as well. I can't say enough about your approach and how much I love watching your flips, your finishes, and your mindset and going into this. So thanks so much for being here today. I think we got a lot out of it. And for everybody out there, this is where you learn on how to take that first step in making that investment so that you can build wealth. Like Victor said, real estate is the number one pathway to building wealth in America. Everybody, thanks for tuning in to Cashflow, where we're talking about turning properties into profits. Victor, take care.
Thank you. Appreciate it.